All right, welcome back to Anime Savants, everyone. This week I am Luna.
Oh, this week I'm Queena.
Oh, okay.
Tougen Anki's new Gooter material.
Yeah. And oh my god. Well, now that you said that, that is the one thing I didn't watch, but you can just go ahead and say it all because I'm just gonna watch it after this. Like, fuck that. Okay. But well then let's get started. What do you want to talk about first?
Um, well, you caught up on a bunch of stuff, so
Oh well, let's talk about Clevatess since I'm Luna. Um, Now I remember you saying, or in passing, you were just like, oh, like the gore went down a little, like it wasn't as like
briefly,
gory, very briefly, because when I continued to watch it, and then the way that they showed her mangled body after she jumped off that fucking bridge, I was like, bitch. I had to fast forward. And then I was like, at the beginning of the next episode, I was like, they're gonna bring it back. I know they are. First thing, Mango. I was like, fast forward. I was like, they're just doing a little recap, like boom, boom, bam. Overall, though, I am very, very pleased with Clevatess. Like, I'm so entertained. I love how. Okay, well, how do I put this? So the whole bandit camp, all of that was so fucking cool. From learning about like Nell. Wait, what's it? Is it Nell? Yeah, Nell.
Yep, yeah. Which I really like how they handled that. That was
yes.
So it was unexpected in a good way.
Well, it made it seem as though they didn't just like pick the girl up as a character and basically be like, you're the wet maid, you're the wet nurse, you're coming with us. Like, is it like it was a whole arc that wasn't centered around her, but it developed her so well and it made her like, oh wow, like no, she is a part of the group. Like, I feel like this addition is like worthwhile. And I felt like that because everything that they were going through, they were constantly developing the world. Even when the arc ended, and the other beasts servant showed up, and I was like, oh, we're like, this is definitely getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought they did a really good job in the like transitioning it, because I thought that the nation was done for, but apparently a sister is still alive. The army is still available. So I'm just like, oh, so that's why they're trying to conquer it. It's not that it doesn't exist anymore. It still exists in a disassembled state. But I thought it was a nice, like, just slide into the next conflict without it being like abrupt and without the scale, not without it being like a jarring scale hop. So really enjoyed that. Loved the acquisition of the hero's weapon at the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom of the lake. Yep.
Yeah, and the fact that Clevatess is strong as fuck. He's still strong as fuck. He's getting used to the human body, but watching her go through all this stuff, because in my mind I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, she's immortal, so she's gonna find a way to slay the ancient. No, she got the fucking sword and she got the fuck out. She said, "This is not I can't do that."
Right.
And I won't be doing it. And I was like, oh wow. But then, and I guess we saw like glimpses of this within the first episode, but the fact that like all of the like the Arcanite weapons have like abilities within them. When she first got the sword and was like using it to like move through the water, and she was like, if I swipe this way, it does this, I swipe that. And I'm just like, oh, really cool introduction. I know what the sword does. It's not just a sword that depends on her abilities. It actually has some powers of itself. And then on top of that, we have magic, which it's like, oh, science. Okay. So like, it could be
it's
both.
A mix, right? Yeah, it's more like, I would say it's like closer to like alchemy, I guess, because there's some magical property in like the Arcanite dust or whatever was going on.
I thought that was so fucking cool, because I thought the main thing with the Arcanite, I mean, like, we've seen the Forge, they keep flashing to the Forge, we know it's going to be important, but the fact that that whole system was not even spoken about, and then it was introduced, and I was like, oh shit, that's going to build a lid off of everything. Like, this is where the power dynamics come into it, because they immediately start saying it like, a nation's strength depends on the power of its wizards. And I was just like, oh, okay. So basically, yeah, knowledge is power. Like literally, like your martial prowess means one thing, but then the fact that the warmonger went and killed Leisha's daddy, just like I wanted to make sure that I'm mastered magic, so I can kill your ass. Which I'm pretty sure there's more to that. But they haven't expounded upon it, all kind of stuff like that. But everything just flowed and fits so well. And it doesn't seem as though it's trying to be anything, at least to me. I'm not getting any kind of like, oh, this is reminding me of this. Like Mangora reminding of like
what do you call it? Of
Overlord.
Right,
like
right.
watching Mangora and getting like Overlord vibes and not being mad at that. Like I still enjoy the show very much, but it's just like, oh, okay, like this is definitely like cribbing and it like has like stuff from this. Well, Clevatess, I'm like, original. Yeah, it feels original, and I'm really enjoying it. The fact that when Nell got eaten by the troll and then it spit her up, I was like, bitch, stomach. Like,
well, she's done.
And then Clevatess gave up on her. He immediately was just like, well, that's it. She's dead.
he said,
he was like, I neutralized the poison. Here, Luna, give her some baby like pats, but as she dies, like I was like, oh shit, like I thought we were developing this character, and then he was just like, she's out of here. Like I don't have time for this. And then, of course, Alicia comes back and, the connection and things of that nature. And it's also really interesting seeing, like, it's happening slowly, yet surely, where, like, it's not that Clevatess cares, but he is, like, becoming more invested with, like, Luna as the plot goes. Like, even that conversation that they had in the tunnel where he was like, yeah, if something happened to Luna, it's immediately like right back.
Curtains.
Yeah.
It's curtains for everybody.
For everybody. He was like, I know I like the wet nurse was cool. She was an interesting human. Like, Luna's like, everyone's interesting and cool. But like, if Luna goes, then my plans and all the stuff that I wanted to do don't happen. So why the fuck would I spare y'all anymore? Like, it's on site. Technically it's not on site. It's just going to be a fucking massacre. But
right.
I was just like,
it's interesting that so far, his character has basically been, oh, Alicia, go figure that shit out. Oh, you over there, you go figure that shit out. Like, it's not like if somebody annoys him, even if they like kind of come at him, he's sort of just like, I don't know if I care about any of this that's happening.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they first get to the bandit camp and like they meet the leader of the bandits. And I say meet, but they get captured. And it's like, who does like doesn't care at all?
No. And he made it so obvious. He was because Alicia, when they were in the cart, she was like, we can get out of this. And he was like, no. He was like, I want to see what's gonna happen. He was like,
he said, let it play out.
Yeah. I was like, oh. Okay. Like this will be doing.
I like that. I do like I think when we talked about like the first episode and when he takes a human form, and one of the things I was hoping for that they'd hold on to is just how alien a being he is in the human society, like his way of thinking about the sort of moral dilemmas or like the things that come up do not feel human. I thought that was like very important in the beginning, that they make it very clear that like he's even developing a sense of like what is morality and what is like what does he actually give a shit about or not give a shit about, and it's being done via trial and error. Like every interaction is he just sort of like, I just want to see what you about to do. I'm curious how's this gonna go down now.
And he's constantly asking questions of everybody, like even when he was talking to the head woman at the bandit camp and like grilled her about this, which made it even crazier because I was like, oh, okay, there might be something wrong with Nell. She's having all the stillbirth. It didn't even cross my mind. That they were killing the babies as they came out. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, what the fuck? And then she gives her reasoning and then he immediately just like shuts it down. He's just like, no.
Yeah.
No. He's like, no. Yeah. He's like, that actually doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, absolutely the fuck not. You're just a shitty person. Like, you're just a fucking shitty person.
I also appreciated that we started to see the way in which the power system. It's not just like the scaling of it, but also how. So like when you first meet Clevatess, he's basically like a god, almost a godlike in terms of
Yeah.
the difference between what he's able to do and what his opposition is able to do. The heroes kind of pop up. The weapons can like annoy him, but he is a maybe not quite civilization ending threat, but certainly like city annihilator level
Without
like
trying.
easy like without just like I'll wipe these motherfuckers off the face of the earth, and you believe, especially in the beginning, that he can make good on everything that he says, which meant that like up until we get to the part in the mine shaft, a lot of what was happening in the plot was happening because he was not engaging with it. Like as a
Yeah.
character, he wasn't engaged purposefully. He's like, I'm not going to do anything. Alicia, you go fucking figure out whatever the fuck, and I'm also not gonna let you die. So you better go figure that part out too, because it's
Yeah.
gonna suck for you if you jump off of a fucking cliffside. You will not be freed from what's going on. It's going to be bad. And we saw that happen. We saw her like
You gonna feel
get
that
fucked
shit.
up and then get put back together, screaming in pain the entire time. Like their death is not the end for you, my girl. It's not gonna happen. But because like he's not up to that point, not very active, it was kind of hard to get a feeling for like, well, how much of a power fantasy is this? Because like I think we've gone back and forth about these things before, but like power fantasies generally rely on like some tropes, and a lot of them are like the main character who's the audience insert is invulnerable, they're omniscient,
Yeah.
and the point of everything that happens in the story is to set up the moment where the bad guys realize they fucked up, because the all-powerful omniscient main character, who is supposed to be you or me, we're supposed to insert ourselves into it, flexes and overpowers everybody, and that's it. Clevatess is kind of set up to be that, up until we start to learn more about the actual world. Like we knew there were other beast like lords, so you could sort of scale them to sort of be at his level. They're not antagonists in the story, but like hypothetically, you don't introduce characters like that and then everyone's gonna get along. So like maybe there were some
Yeah.
beings that were around his level of power that eventually, if you run into them, there's a threat. Then we start to learn about these weapons, right? The anchor site weapons, and it's like, okay, there's something that could kind of like bother him a little bit, but like the humanoids don't fully know that
How to
yet,
use
and
it. Yeah.
right, so there's still not like a threat from those, but like it's on the radar of like power scale. It's like there's something like down here. Then we get to the mine, we start finding out about magic. We start seeing that actually his abilities interact with that world in a way, like they can shut that shit off or weaken him or like
Yeah.
take away some of the things that we thought were sort of like a rule, like, oh well, he's just going to be able to power his way through everything. No, that's not true. So now there start to be some limits from both a story perspective, like narratively, and then also from like a world building perspective. Like we're starting to see the contours of what his character is capable of doing and not doing. And then as you start to introduce more of the threats that are out there, it starts to be like, oh, okay, this feels natural. It all feels like it exists in a
Yeah.
believable hierarchy that
Even
now is going to inform like future conflicts. Like if he gets into it with somebody, let's say they figure out that like he's weak to anthracite and you can weaken
yeah.
him, and you have an army of niggas with all these weapons or like other sort of thing. Now you start to see like, okay, there's a real threat that could be generated just by playing with aspects of the world that won't feel like they come out of fucking nowhere. So
Yeah.
I like that because it means that like the future conflict, he's gonna have to be more involved in what is
Yeah.
going on.
And it made sense about like he being ignorant of magic and Alicia being somewhat ignorant of the magic, because the Hedonite nation banned the use of it, like banned like all that usage of that. So even if he was observing like that nation from afar, he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
gonna see it any, because they're
Right.
not doing any kind of research for it there or anything like that. So I was like, oh, okay, so like his lack of knowledge and in turn her lack of knowledge about it makes sense. And especially because she was talking about the talent, which I also loved how they were talking about like the kidnapped babies from both races, like
Yep.
the humanoids kids are getting kidnapped and the beast kids are getting kidnapped. And in my head, I'm just like, yeah, nah, we about to. there's some super soldiers being cooked up somewhere, or some shit like that. Like
Yep,
something,
most likely. Yep.
yeah, some devious shit is on the way. So I'm just like, okay, like, yeah. But I
Interesting that that's
really
also a
enjoyed it.
subplot in Seventh Prince as well.
Oh, really? That's where they're at right
Yeah,
now?
there's a subplot that's very similar to that. So, it's just, playing with the same ingredients. Obviously, we don't know as much in Clevatess, even about like the other nations exactly what is going on. And so
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to like the actual adventure part of the story is becoming as interesting or more interesting than the character stuff, which I believe was going to carry the show,
yeah.
regardless of what happens. So now you get both. We're talking about a pretty good show.
I
Also,
mean,
production value is pretty
oh,
high. The beasts in
yeah.
the water, like all that shit, that's some pretty good shit.
Um, I will say though, I am shocked, or not shocked, but I was surprised when. Well, first of all, I love the comedic dynamic between Alicia and Clevatess. Like their
Yes,
banter, I
yes.
get some chuckles from it. I'm like, okay, like yeah, she does fear him, but like she is speaking up. She's talking back. Like she's like, I'm not a. She's afraid for her life, but in a way where she's kind of just like, I don't mind if you kill me, but
Yeah, she
like
kind of would prefer to die.
yeah.
Like,
And he's like, I'm not gonna kill
honestly.
you. You're not gonna die. I'm just gonna bring you back to life. So like, be for real. Shut the fuck up and listen. But
Yeah.
I was actually really surprised when she broke down like the nation stuff, and she was like, "You can't install Luna as a shadow ruler, as like a puppet ruler, if they conquer that nation. Like, if he loses his
Correct.
royal status because that nation doesn't exist anymore, then your whole plot from episode one falls apart." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit." All
Yep.
right. All
Yeah.
right. Let me get up. Let me get
Which
up.
I like. I like that like his character didn't think everything through. And
Yeah.
why would they? Because he doesn't know anything
He doesn't
about like
know. Yeah.
yeah.
And also, it gave the perfect leeway for, oh, the all powerful character is out doing something. And now
Yep.
something is happening to the rest of the group who may or may not have the ability to deal with the threat that just showed up. We don't know. That's what we about to see next week. So yeah, just really, really fucking enjoyed it. Like a lot. But I mean, if that first episode showed me anything, I was like, no, this is gonna be good. But they've kept it up. It's not just like it has this like ebbs and flows. I've consistently enjoyed it all the way up until like this week's episode. So like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yep,
Um,
it's I would say it's a multi-dimensional
mm,
show in terms of both the storytelling, the character dynamics, the production values, the action, the world building, like all these things are not everything is at the same high level, but all of them are good
mm,
enough to carry when maybe it's time to take a break. Like if you're
yeah,
not doing nonstop action, the interpersonal relationships and the banter between the growing cast of characters is interesting because they also use that time to teach you the audience about the world, but usually like talking to
yeah,
Cleveland like, and so I sometimes it's annoying when there's a lot of exposition, but like I look forward to it because I have so
yeah,
many questions. I have all these questions about what is going on and who these people are and why certain things are the way they are. And even like the bandit camp stuff, they're really only like three characters that we got to meet that had any like time to say with. It's Nell, it's the lead like prostitute slash like
Borko or
bar,
whatever. Oh
the guy
yeah,
running the bar, and then the guy like the bandit leader. And
yeah.
that's pretty much it. Like there are other characters, but they're either not named or they don't have a lot
The
of
fodder.
like exactly. But that was enough to learn so much about the society and like kind of where the series is going to take us. Like it's some dark shit like happening. It gave
Yeah.
our cast people to bounce off of, and then when it came time to get with the action, we had a lot of stuff
Yo,
going on.
honestly, I was like, when she did the like that sword move against the bird dude,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what the fuck is that? When the blade like started waving behind her, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then he tells her to stop, and he's like, there's been a miscommunication. And then he goes, also, he's about to slice your fucking body wide open with his leg. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, so she herself, like, yeah, she was a hero. She's powerful. But when it comes to like dark beasts, especially the ones who can speak like
Mm-hmm.
human speak, it's like them niggas are not just intelligent, they are powerful. They're not as powerful as like the
Yes.
lords. And even the what is it, the Orgites or the Organites or whatever, the fact
Yep.
that one of the beasts has a direct relationship with the like humanoids that are close to the point where they're worshiping it. And
Yeah.
then and I was just like, oh wow, so like your domain,
The,
whichever one you're closest to, like it's completely different depending on your domain. So that means that we have because so we know a little bit about the West, but the North
yep.
and the East, because in the East we have like the Islander people and shit
Yep.
like that. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm really
I want to get
excited.
to know this. And all of that
Yeah,
is in context of what we learned in the first episode, which is like this is a little walled off
yeah.
area of the world and we don't know why, which work hey, it worked for Attack on Titan with certainly a lot
You know
less,
what? Yeah,
narrative and character like high quality
because yeah,
character
we didn't know them
development.
niggas was on an island for like forever.
Exactly. But like that mystery to me was enough to carry a lot of things that were maybe not well developed. Now I think they're just better writing and more interesting characters because we're on an adventure with these people. So it's like the structure of what we're gonna see is going to be a little more organized than something like that. And so I'm just looking forward to it. When a new episode comes out, much like another show I want to talk about, like it's on my list of things on the week where I'm like, I'm gonna get deeper into this because I know they're gonna give me more to sink my teeth into every week. So
Yeah,
Clevatess is just like, I think they're killing it. I don't know where like the general perception of the show is. I've never heard anything
yeah.
bad about it, but I don't know if it's like
I'm
people
not
were saying,
seeing
oh, it's
anybody post
yeah.
about it. Yeah,
I
but
don't know, but it deserves it. They're trying to get a lot done here. So like let's put some respect on the name, right?
yeah, I agree. Um, and then what else? I also caught up on Water Magician. Um, and yeah, you like your descriptions were like so. First of all, I love his like demeanor. I love the way that he's like jovial, blah blah blah. But then when it came to like the bullying shit, he had on that like fake smile while he was dealing with the
Mm-hmm.
bully. So, anyways, the introduction of what is his Abel? Is that his name?
I
What's
think
the dude's
so.
name? Yeah, Abel.
Abel, yeah, ABEL, whatever you want to
Yeah,
pronounce it.
the introduction of him and him being the impetus to like get him beyond the cottage into the wider world, all that kind of stuff like that. And then also him being with him in the cottage and being like, why the fuck is he like, oh well, I shouldn't be second guessing him, like he saved my life, but why the fuck it's like, okay, yeah. But I was waiting for that moment, and when they first got to the city and that you said about like with the elf girl, and then she goes, why does he have, oh, you're a special one. You're a special one. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's so prominently featured in the opening and the ending. And they definitely didn't just like dive straight into their relationship. Like their stuff just started, I think, like the
Mm-hmm.
past week or so ago. So I was like, oh, okay. Anyways, loved like the guild system, like how they break all this stuff down. And honestly, I'm gonna say like with this most recent week's episode leading into like this week. So the episode is what's gonna come out on like the 11th, 12th, the 14th or the 15th. I think it's the 14th or 13th. It'll come out the new one. The fact that they gave all of the side characters or like the guild mates a feat without him even being present. Like he did not come to save the day. He didn't do, like it was none of that stuff. It was like this is how they handled life and are continuing to handle life before you even got there and
Yep,
before
that's
everybody
right.
has even recognized your power. There are still people who still are just like, oh, he's powerful, but they don't know how powerful the fuck he is. All that being said, love the demon fight. Bitch, that was so cool. At first I was just like, oh, okay, they're gonna tussle and then disappear. But then when he got serious, when he started like shooting the water bullets, then put like the water like reflector things, and then the laser started. I was like, oh
That
shit,
was sick.
oh shit. I was like, we cooking. Oh my god. And then she was like, wait, now I have to get serious. Like, and the way that when he like sent the water bullets and then she just stomped the ground and made the
Yep.
like side step, I was like, yo, okay, this is
She
good.
was pushing him. She was pushing him really
He
hard.
was
Like
pushing him. Yes.
and
And
that
then
and
she,
like
oof,
Like if you look at that episode, like I don't remember how long like the fight part of it was. It may have only been like 10 minutes of the episode or 10 or 12 minutes, about half. But
Yeah,
like
it was a chunk.
they
Yeah.
cut they it literally set up so there's nobody there but them. So there's not like, and it's in like it's like a very plain environment. They're like literally in a big open square. Maybe there's a
Yeah.
building. Like they put, this is where the money went, and he like
When
they had to make
when
that shit work.
when she knocked him into the building and then they did that scene where she was looking up and they like it illuminated her face and there was like water droplets like around her and then that one bitch touched her face and started burning her skin. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, okay, yeah,
He was
that was
getting
what the budget.
tricky.
That was
All
what
these like
he.
combo moves and like hiding
Yeah,
the, the ice blades and this stuff, and like, you like it was a legitimate contest,
yeah.
and it made both characters look better, like coming out of
They
it. Like
both
it wasn't just
pushed
like
each
him
other.
mollywopping somebody. Like
Yeah,
it was close. It was a close one. So
yeah. I loved it, and then I also loved that immediately after the fact, he was just like, "She said the next time I see her, I'm gonna be way more
she said
powerful."
it's on site when I see you next
She
time.
said that, and
And
then
I'm
she
gonna be
said
stronger
other
too.
people. She said I'm gonna be stronger, and she said, and there are other motherfuckers out there just like me. Don't die by them first. I want to be the one to
Yeah.
kill you. And I was like, okay, so we're setting up all that, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is gonna be a whole thing going on that the people in the town are nowhere near his level. Like this is something that
Yeah.
solely that he has to or will be the only person that can deal with it. Um, so love that. I really like that. I liked how immediately after that he was like, "Well, let me get my ass out here and start making up new moves." Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't move fast enough. She was moving like this. She was using wind magic. She was using
You're right. I
different
like
kinds
that.
of magic.
Yes, that where he's like experimenting with like, how do I get water jet to actually move me the way the wind
Yeah,
stuff was moving
yeah,
her. That to me, so you can say whatever you want. If you're somebody who like sees all of the influences of other potentially better series in this, and you want to criticize Water Magician because it's not necessarily doing a lot of original stuff, I'm fine with
mm-hmm.
that. Like I buy it. Like it is like
Isekai's no
somebody's diet
isekai.
Mushoku Tensei,
Yeah,
whatever. In some ways, that's what it is, right? But I do appreciate doing at least a little bit of work to make sure that like when something happens, it doesn't completely come out of nowhere. Now, I say that granted, Lenora showing up and the eclipse thing literally is out of nowhere. Like there is no, we don't really get
we
like
got no
a warning
teasers.
that this is even a possibility or like who this
Yeah,
character is. So like it does kind of just like happen, and then it's like, oh shit, like okay, now it's on. Now Rio has something to do that's more than just like
yes,
meander around and wander
yes.
around. But that said, like if that's the worst sin that they're gonna do is like just drop an antagonist in so that the main character has like some hype shit. Because now I'm looking forward to when
To the hype
they
shit.
mix it up again, or when he runs into one of these allegedly, similarly strong individuals. Because not only did I enjoy what I saw in that first fight, the fact that they spent time afterwards to be like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not, I'm not up to par, and we see
Yeah,
him working on new spells or new tactics, even a little bit. It didn't have to be a lot, but
yeah. We
now I'm
didn't need a
like,
training montage. Yeah,
exactly. But now I am hoping to be rewarded for paying attention, because when he's fighting the next fight and he's zipping along and he's using the water burst, and the people are reacting like, I didn't know you could use magic like that. Da, 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 da. That was something that we've now set up. Just like prior to the Lenora fight, we set up his like experimentation with water magic in the first episode,
yeah,
and other episodes. Like he's constantly experimenting and trying new things, and like I don't know, it makes that character come off as more intelligent without anybody else in the series other than maybe like Abel remarking about how smart he is or like whatever. It
yeah.
follows the whole show don't tell philosophy of like good storytelling. Show me the character trait that I'm supposed to believe in. Don't have a bunch of exposition where people claim that it's true, because we both know that it's difficult to write a character that's smarter than the person writing the character. And most
Yeah.
people, even the most authors, are not
Yeah.
geniuses. So if you
No.
tell me a character's a genius in a story, you gotta show me that this is true in a believable way, and they do a really good job, you know, in that little, the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Um, what did you think about what I call like the cost saving episode, the one that comes right afterwards, which is when the monster overflow happens in the dungeon? Did
Oh, that
you?
was so fucking obvious. I was like,
Yeah,
wow. Like the goblins looked so, but I mean, this isn't this they saved the budget for what they knew that we
exactly,
were gonna enjoy.
exactly.
And this is just another step in the plot. And they were just like, this is something and we have to animate it. But clearly it's like, but we're not gonna waste our resources animating a shit ton of goblins when
Right.
there's definitely another fight coming. Like we need to
Yep.
focus on that. And so I thought I was fine with it. I enjoyed the fact that, he met the elven girl. And another thing that I actually really liked about the series is that when he moved into the dorms and started going into the dungeon with the swordsman guy, and then
Yeah.
the next episode they cut it out, and they were just like, it doesn't make any sense for you to go in the dungeon with someone so powerful because he's going to constantly bail you out and you're not going to get better. You have to
Yes.
go with a team that is of a similar level. And I was like, oh, because I literally in my head I was like, that kid's gonna get fucked up because he's gonna get too used to being with Rio, and they immediately remedied, like not even remedied it. They were just like, yeah, no, like it's his first time. Rio is introducing him to it, but he's not only going to the dungeon with Rio, and
Yeah, they
I
kind
really
of.
like that.
I agree with you. I'm happy they that. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use a term, but that's not like it's not totally what happened. But they kind of bailed on the plot line of like Rio with a bunch of weaklings, like
Yeah,
running
yeah,
around the
yeah.
dungeon. Because I was kind of worried that we're gonna waste a lot of time with like a bunch of characters who are clearly at one level over here, and then our main character who can do so much cool stuff, but because he has to be with them on
He's
screen,
babysitting.
it doesn't. Yeah, it's babysitting. It doesn't give them a chance to like do anything. Until like the super strong boss monster shows up and then they all get knocked out and then he takes them out, but nobody sees it. So it's like, how did he defeat the monster? Like
Yeah,
they bailed on that. They were basically like, all right, you all go have fun with that dungeon shit. I just ran into an archdemon and now I'm gonna spend my time researching new fucking magic so she can't get her get back on me. Like,
because
and
she's
literally
coming.
that's what happened, which I think even though I call it the cost saving episode, the best thing about the dungeon break thing was that it gave the side characters something meaningful to do that did
Yeah,
not involve the main character at all. He didn't pop into the last minute and like
no,
fight off all the generals. Like Abel got, and who's the other guy? The other uh
I don't remember, but the blondie.
his rival. They got
Yeah,
to just do something on their own and look strong.
we got to see how their teams actually like supplement each other. Like
Right.
Abel was not the one that was going to do the killing blow. The whole linchpin of the whole thing was the mage girl who
Right.
is on a completely different level than Rio. Like she has to be chanting. Like she cannot
Yep.
just basically be like, wind magic, bitch. Like, boom, here we go. Da-da-da. And so I did like that too, where even when they were like going to the dungeon and they were like, wait a second, do your magic real quick. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how magic works with everyone else.
Yes.
And that's just how like crazy Rio is. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. Like, but yeah, I did enjoy that when they were fighting it. And then when the Goblin King came out and they actually struggled a bit, and I was like, oh, okay, we're about to get to the point where Rio's gonna pop up and be like, oh, sorry, you guys, I was at the library, like, and it was like, no, they dealt with it, they did it. So I thought that
Yeah.
was good.
The
It was a
cardinal
cost saving
sin
episode.
of a lot of these types of series, and they're all, we talked about power fantasy before. This is a different kind of power fantasy. The cardinal sin is always that they want to introduce like a vibrant cast of characters to sort of like back up the main character, but because of the way the power scaling often works, in order to create tension, the only way is to like introduce stronger and stronger enemies who are so strong that the only one who can deal with them is our main character,
Is
which
the main,
leaves the
yeah.
side characters with very little meaningful to do, even of their own
Solo
level.
leveling.
Right. You just say it, man. Like that's like that is why solo leveling sucks. Like it's fun to read because it's all aura farming, but like from like a storytelling point of view, like from a just a general hype level, they have a huge cast of basically useless characters that their only role is to be a slightly different face narrating what they can sort of see happening in a battle from far away.
Yeah.
That's all they all boil out to, is just narrators. Like, oh, this narrator has a beard. This narrator is a woman. This narrator, I mean, she has blonde hair. Like that's it. Like because they can't do anything. They have no individual feats. They didn't accomplish anything in the story. They're just like hanging out until Sung Jin Woo
Swoops
comes and
in.
rescues them or whatever. It's like solves the problem. Water Magician, large cast of characters. They all have lives that exist without him. He's an interloper. He just
Yeah.
showed up. They have problems that they deal with. There's stuff happening in the world that's kind of their responsibility. And I just appreciate, at least for now, that they were all more or less given something to do that
Yeah.
was had nothing to do with the main character.
And
Just
I also really enjoy, and a lot of shows don't do this, but when shows are like set in fantasy settings and they have like a guild and a guild master, like usually the only things we get out of them is like them reporting to the guild or like the guild master saying something random. This guild master, like we're seeing like, oh, I reached out to this is the plan. This is my, like, he's like, I am making the plan
yep.
to deal with
Great you
this.
mentioned that. Yes.
Like I'm the one that is spearheading this. Rio's nowhere to be found. He ain't nowhere
Right.
to be found. And I'm just
Someone
like,
who's
I do not
actually in
see that.
charge and
Who's
responsible for things. And it's
yes.
funny because you brought that up. So in the beginning of the episode, Abel and the other adventurer group leader, they get summoned to the guildmaster's office. The guildmaster's like, we got a report from the other characters that we
Yes.
saw because they were the ones in the dungeon who fought the goblin archer. They're like, hey, we got a report. There's monsters in the wrong floor. Could be a dungeon break, whatever. We're gonna go like assess whether this is true. I'm getting y'all because y'all are the best niggas together. We all gonna go out there. We're gonna find it. Also, I've called I've called up like the local lord to let him know like shit's about to
Yeah.
happen.
I love
And
that.
that entire arc, everything from the junior adventures finding the goblin archer all the way to the dungeon break and it getting handled by as we were told it would be in the or the third episode, when you see that when Abel's telling him about the town and how like the town is built around a
Yeah.
mountain, and then but it's actually like a double layer fortress where it's
It's
actually a
set
fortress that's
up
looking in
for
to
that.
keep right for that exact purpose. Everything that occurred made perfect sense within the world, was set up by prior events, involved other characters other than the main character. Rio never one time noted anything because he wouldn't know. He went into the dungeon with the sword dude, and they were at that point already saying there were more ants than usual. He wasn't the one to make that observation. It was the
No.
other
And
people
he's
who were
been
there, like,
busy
oh,
just
that's
going to
weird.
the library. He just been
Exactly. And
going to
then
the
he fucked
library.
off. He left. And so
Yeah.
that meant that that entire plot line was managed end to end by characters that were not the main character.
And it was
They had
great.
something meaningful to do that had a beginning, a middle, and an end that was set up by prior event. It's like, I guess I'm reacting to it this way because like it's basic storytelling. Like
But it's
it's like
not common.
but it's so uncommon
It's not
because
common.
other writers are so lazy. They're just so fucking lazy, and like I don't know, like the fan service on both ends of like not just like pretty women and like big swords, but also like flattering the audience reading it by not asking them to think. Just
Yeah.
uh,
Well, also, this makes me look forward to the cast as an ensemble cast, not just Rio, because Rio is going to have his feats. We know he's going to have his
yes,
feats, but Rio can't handle everything all at once. Like there are going
right,
to be side enemies, there are going to be lower level demons, like there, and it's going to be like this is what the side cast can do right now, and they're going to grow along with Rio. They're not going to be on his level, but you're going to
no,
see them improve and handle situations the way that they can. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay, now that makes me want to come back and be like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode. Oh my God, I wish you had 24 episodes this season. Like, this is a great, like, da, 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 da. Like, yeah. So,
So this weekend I saw the Fantastic Four movie. And I didn't
oh,
hate it. I am not a fan generally of the way the
Marvel's been
MCU
handling it,
as
or
like a
Disney.
concept has been translated into films. And because there's certain
Mm,
problems that I think all those movies have that they inherit from one another. But I remember we watched Fantastic Four and we got out of it. It was went with my wife and a friend of ours, and I described the experience of like watching this of the movie of like eating a boneless chicken wing. Like no one's ever turned down a boneless
Mm.
chicken wing, right? Even like a plain boneless chicken wing from like
Yeah.
Wingstop or whatever. Like it's got some seasoning on it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you
yeah,
like we
yeah.
like chicken. Like it ain't we're not gonna play around. It's fried up. It's whatever. But also because it's boneless, there's no structure to it. It's just sort of like pure protein that you kind of shove down your throat and maybe put a little sauce on it or something to like spice it up. But like it's not really like a eating experience. But you get like a flat, like a well seasoned flat, maybe like
You
a
gotta, we
maybe
gotta,
some buffalo.
Yeah.
You know how to dress a
You
flat,
gotta
how to like get
work in it and
right.
just go.
The you
It's an
there may be less
experience.
meat on that at the end of the day, or maybe it's not from one bite to the other, it's a little uneven, like things are a little bit different, you might
Yeah,
be getting shit on your hands or whatever, but you had an experience eating that chicken wing, that especially if it's a good one, or that flat if it's a good one, that like you
get
remember
that
and
cartilage. Yeah,
exactly, like you want to go back to it. There's a lot to it. Like I don't know, there's more to it than just like if we deboned it and mashed it up and put it into a shape and then put some breading on it. It's like that experience is it's like consuming food, but it's not eating it. You're not having an eating
yeah, yeah,
experience.
yeah, yeah.
So I feel like that is how I feel about both Water Magician and Clevatess. That like I'm eating something. I'm having an experience. There's stuff here. Some of it's uneven. Some of it's like really cool and really whatever. Some of it's like baffling. But like all together, it's an experience that I can remember, and like I feel like it was put together purposefully by
Yeah.
deft hands, like people who know something, compared to other experiences watching anime or movies where it's just like they know they don't have to try in certain areas, so then it's just like they're just feeding you it's like the icing on the cake but no cake, or like the boneless chicken wing experience. It's like just this is what you want, you just here, eat that shit, just get it
Yeah.
in your mouth, swallow it, all right, get out of here.
You got
So
your
I'm
protein.
enjoying Water Magician, and I hope that if we're gonna separate like what Rio's doing from everybody else occasionally, or for most of the series, that they just find nice ways to have it like intersect back, but not too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Yay. But
Tougen
yeah, those are fun.
Anki.
So what happened with this episode? I completely forgot to watch it
So
because
the
I've been watching
latest
too much other shit.
episode is episode 5.
So they were
Uh,
heading to help the supporters of a certain area. Like they stopped
um
the forest exercise and they were on the boat at the end of the last episode that I saw. And so there's only one
yes.
episode that I haven't seen.
So I have like a general comment and like a specific comment. So like the general comment is Togen Anki is growing on me every single episode. Like every
Okay.
episode I watch it, this is like outside of maybe like I would put like Kaiju 8 kind of like at a higher tier of like shonen, everything. Like it's a
Yeah,
more well-developed concept. I
yeah.
think the adult characters make more sense. It's better production, blah 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 blah. Like it's up here. But I think this season, Togen Anki is like the most pure shonen
Yes.
series
Yeah.
that's running, and I think my original complaint from the first couple of episodes was like I like everything they're doing, and I like that they're kind of doing it on slightly less of a budget, but like creatively, a lot of the work felt like it was going into like the Oni abilities, and there was like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of world building around like Momotaro and like some other stuff, but like it wasn't a lot there. So I was sort of like, well, if I like the characters and I like kind of the abilities, I would just tune in to just see the characters do stuff and the abilities pop off. Every
Yeah.
week though, it's becoming more of a shonen, which means like I'm seeing a lot of the tropes that and cliches that I enjoy about the genre getting translated into the series, and we get like new characters, and most importantly, we're getting character designs that I could pick out of a lineup for whatever reason.
Like if you saw the
They do
shadow
have
of
like the
it.
art style
Yeah.
is lending itself to some thick bad bitches. Okay, it's lending itself to that in ways I would not have thought from like the first two
But
episodes.
you know what I will say? They are boxy though,
Yes,
because
that's what I mean. They're all
yeah,
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 which
yeah.
which is kind of my thing. So I'm like, it's like made for
Well,
me.
yeah, okay.
Like there's not a lot of like slender waif like whatever. It's a lot of like thick
Yeah.
thighs and
Well,
you
the
know
way the place that I see it the most is in the ending song, like when they're like dancing and shit like that.
yeah.
I'm just like, there's some big titties, man. Those are
That's what I'm
fucking
saying. There's a lot of
huge.
them.
Like,
There's a lot.
wow.
Listen. Woo! That's why I
But
was like, I gotta give it up. Like we got some real queens in this series, man. So some real ones out here, and I was not giving them enough credit. I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game. Okay. But that said, on the aside from like the character designs, a lot of like what I say like pure shonen. So your very typical like plucky main character that like is a jerk but has a heart of gold because we see in like the forest stuff like he's in like a life or death fight and then he like interrupts it in the middle when like the guy shoots the blood blade thing at him and the
mhm.
girl gets in the way and he's like, you really could have hurt somebody. It's like, no shit, he's trying to fucking kill y'all. Like what do you think this is? But like that's a very shonen thing of like the protagonist like 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 sort of having like a
It's like
I'll call
childlike.
it like a kind of like a wacky perspective because in reality, this is all insane. This is
Yeah.
crazy and awful and like psychopathic. Like you're around like literal crazy people shooting like blood weapons at each other. Like they're all out of their minds. Like literally everybody like if you put them next to a normal person from real life, every one of these characters is like an absolute psychopath. Like even the main character, like nuts. So whenever you have like that happening, you have like crazy shit going on, and then you've got like a main character who's like, listen, I may be an asshole, but I'm not that much of an asshole. He's like, lecturing people. It's a very shonen protagonist thing to do, and I was like, I was appreciating it. And then you get I forget what her name is, the one who has like the ability that goes out of control, kind of makes like a blood titan,
Yeah. Yeah. Boo Boo
like
Blahada or
her.
some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the power scaling of her ability was like great because it's like, okay, cool. We've seen a little bit, and they even have like some exposition in the episode where they're like, oh, Oni blood powers. Sometimes they're a representation of the, things that person
Really are
really,
into.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
really into. Sometimes they are a representation of like a traumatic event or a very, important event in their life.
Oh.
Sometimes they are like their hidden self like coming out. So there's like some psychology involved, but it's not ironclad which is which. Like it's not like one or the other or only those things. And I'm like, great, give yourself a lot of room because all the students, the Momotaro folks in training, most of their abilities have been set up as being somewhat straightforward. Like, oh, I make like
Yeah.
chainsaws and blades, and I can shoot stuff. I think there's another girl who's like very water wave whatever inspired. She hasn't like done anything yet in the series. We have one
Okay.
who can like create the golem like thing out of that goes out of
Yeah.
control. Like these are all like pretty straightforward, but they've set up the ability for a lot of weirder shit to
To be
be introduced
introduced.
later.
Yeah.
And we kind of get a little bit of it in like episode 5 because there's this sort of like the zombie whatever and our big titty queen out here with like the quadruple F's or whatever the
Oh
fuck
my
that
God, they're
was.
that big? Okay.
They're
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go watch this.
tremendous.
I'm gonna go make dinner right after this. I'm gonna go watch this. Oh my God.
It's they're so distractingly large and no one comments on it that like it makes it
Oh,
even
really?
funnier. They're so distractingly large. Like it's insensible. Like that artist was just like, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna do it. uh,
Oh,
but um, what I like is that as we're sort of also being introduced to the I'll call it like the infrastructure of the Momotaro
yeah.
school and I was worried that it was gonna be like totally like we're in Magic High School and it sort of kind of is, they've cut it down. They've cut down that idea to it's bare minimum. So I don't have to like go through endless scenes of like him pretending to be a normal kid in school, and then like it's just they get
Yeah.
kind of right to the meat of it. And again, a lot of the characters are they're shown in cliches, but they're fun. And the art style when it's like hand drawn and they're doing a lot of the interaction is like it's kinetic and comedic and kind of, it's a little bit light on like emotions. Like it's not like they're having like deep heart to heart stuff, but it's just fun. Like I get a feeling for like who everybody is very quickly. Um
Okay.
so I'm just enjoy it's like an easy watch. It's very easy for me to turn it on and be like, this is the shonen stuff I like. Our main character Shiki is like not a screamy guy, but he is kind of a insensitive and a dick. So like that set some stuff off, but then they get right to the action like pretty quick, episode to episode. So like in the most recent episode, um, they're kind of investigating a little bit of like what's going on with their first set of antagonists. And I
Okay.
maybe when you watch it we'll go over it, but like there's some really like cool stuff around like the other blood abilities of the main what's the teacher's name? What is his name? The one with like the two stripes, like the
Yeah, I have no idea what his name is. Yeah.
like he like his ability to like create like blood clones that can do different things, like shoot arrows and like other
Oh.
things. Like it's pretty cool, but then it's matched well with the antagonists who can like control dead bodies and other things. So it's like we start to
Oh.
see like the scale of some of the conflicts, what they could be like if people really going all out. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. It's cool. That's all I need. I don't need it to like, reach Jujutsu Kaisen levels of complexity or even production value. I just want to see characters that don't like each other that have pretty wild abilities go ham,
Go at
and
it.
the
Yeah.
animation's pretty good. Like even the 2D hand drawn stuff is good, but also they are doing more of like putting the special effects with the 2D hand drawn things. It does like create like a really cool aesthetic that's its own thing. So I'm down. I'm enjoying it. I joke about all the big titty women flopping around, but like it's realistically they're not actually flopping around. They just are drawn with large breasts. So like the fan service is like physically there, but in a weird way, it's a little bit restrained. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it. There, I don't like. What anime was it where they were like they did some shot. This woman was like crawling on all fours, and it's like I watch anime for the plot, and the plot is the camera shot is like from between her legs
Oh
up
my
through her
God.
titties. Like the titties are in front of the camera
I have
from
not
below.
seen that. Where the fuck was that?
I just saw a clip of this like the other day, and I was
Oh
trying to
my
like what the
God.
for research purposes. I was trying to figure out what it was from. But
Well,
like the point
yeah.
is like you've got all these fan servicey characters that are they're not actually like aside from the proportions, they're not like played up for the camera. They're just kind
Yeah.
of there. It's like this unrealistically thick ass woman over here just kind of existing, but it's not like they're like zooming in on her chest, for the
Yeah.
shot. So I'm like, a little bit of restraint, like a little bit, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun.
Okay. Noise.
Um,
What else is there? What's call it? I'm just gonna get Shield Hero out of the way. So there's another transformation on top of the transformation that happened last week. Um, and I think the arc kind of like ended decently. Um, wasn't the best arc, but I mean, we talked about this last week about like them losing the core principle or like of this stuff that's like driving the show. But I did like how they brought the brother and sisters like story full circle. So, you know, yeah, I'm still gonna watch it, but it's just still not it's not even amongst all the new stuff, or even amongst the stuff that I'm even like not even that really impressed by, it's below the stuff I'm not even that really impressed by. Like, I would rather watch The Duke's Daughter than watch Shield Hero. And that's a lot. That's a lot. Like, it's kind of just like, damn.
yeah.
Like, it's, I don't want to say that it's a chore because there are aspects of the show that I do still enjoy, but it's kind of just like the spark is just like it's too inconsistent. Like the main spark is gone, but it's just like I see y'all you're doing stuff over here, and I know that the light novel readers are just like you just gotta keep going, like because once it opens up and blah, 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 and I'm like I am sticking around for that. But once we get to that moment, if it's not doing what they said it was going to do, like I guess for instance, ReZero, like, and I'm not even past ReZero season 2. Like I'm at the very beginning of ReZero season 2. But the way that the reception for it has only gotten better and better and better. And they even said people were saying this, they were just like, yeah, the show's really wacky. It's crazy right now, but wait until we get deeper in. It's gonna explode. Like you're gonna be so fucking entertained. And that's all I see. I see people loving the shit out of ReZero every new season. Every new, without a doubt. And I'm just like, Shield Hero had a strong start and then just like fumbled it. And so that's why I'm kind of just like, I'm here, but I'm not like locked in. But yeah, that's fine.
And yeah,
yeah,
we've kind of turned over like a lot of the reasons like why
yeah.
that is. I do think like one of the biggest problems that will always like you compare it to ReZero, and I think they kind of was ReZero the year before, a couple of years before the first season of Shield Hero. I
I
know that
think
it was.
so. Yeah, I think so. I'm not
Yeah. So
super
like I
positive.
think one of the biggest issues is like it's like it's the core of the show. It's Naofumi. He sucks. Like as a main character, he's not like think about where he started and where he is like right now and like, you know, this current season. All of
Mm-hmm.
his character development happened in season 1. Like pretty much. Like I would say like a good like 80 to 90% of it like happened in season 1. Um that's a problem
Because where do we go?
because like, exactly like, not only where do you go but like when you have a series that any series, it doesn't really fucking matter. Like there are anthology series where there is no main character, right? Like or there's series where like the most important character is really the world that rather than any particular person in it. Like I would say like Blood
Yeah.
Blockade Battlefront is like a perfect
Yes.
example of one where like there are a
Yes.
bunch of really interesting and strong characters, but the main character is the city. What's it called? Is it Anselm's Lot or is that the name of it?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
you know Bizarro New York, like
Yeah.
that's like the trope and like you know of like the New York is the main character of this city of this show or whatever. Like that literally you can have a series where there is really no main character and then you can sort of like piece it together from like all the other like meta stories and little things happening between people. But the problem with Shield Hero is Naofumi fucking sucks. Like he's just a shitty main character because anything that's sort of like flawed about him is excused or erased in the very first arc. Like even some of the darker choices that he makes in reaction to finding himself in a really bad situation and just
Mm-hmm.
like coping with what's going on. His trust issues lead him to like engage in slavery, his like, you know, bitterness and anger towards like all these other people lead him to be very vindictive and whatever. But like the first thing that happens is, I don't know why we're going back, but the very first thing that happens in Shield Hero after he gets what's it Raftalia or whatever her name
Yeah.
is there's like the monster outbreak in some fucking village that's what all the heroes are supposed to go deal with. Like that's like the first like
Yeah.
major event. And by the time that is over, now Fumi has basically like become like what he is right now, which is just somebody who pretends like he doesn't care about stuff, but then like goes and interferes
Always
and
shows
whatever and
up.
tries to help
Yeah.
other people. He gets by the time he gets revenge on the princess, it's sort of just like, okay, well now I don't have a reason to be mad at anybody because I proved that I'm just better and okay. Like he runs to the heroes on the boat at the end, the flying ship, whatever, at the end of the
Yeah.
first season, and like suns all of them, like just like completely humbles everybody. And then that's why in the second season, even with the fucking turtle later, like all the other shit, it's so everything just feels so irrelevant because there's nothing happening with the main character. He's just collecting his harem of little girls who like all want to fuck him and that he's just like proud papa, but in like a very weird sexual way, like with all this. Like, it's just like this is a shitty
Yeah.
character. Subaru is a very different situation. This is a guy who like goes through a lot of change, good and
Oh,
bad,
oof.
over and over again, thinking that he learned lessons and then realizing that he was mistaken, thinking that he knew people, or making like basically making a lot of errors, a lot of mistake, like over and over and over again. And that is the core of ReZero. The core of ReZero is watching him slowly become a better human being. Like very slow. It's incredibly slow. All right. At least the development is paced out pretty evenly over the various cycles that he gets stuck in. And then on top of that, like the world building around him becomes more
Yeah.
and more interesting. Shield Hero is like the opposite case. Like it starts out, the mystery of what the world could be is like huge. And now Fumi's character is like, oh, it's a good starting point to like grow and become like a better person. Except we get all the growth really quick, and then as the world building gets spun out, it's like none of this fucking matters. Like this is irrelevant. Like who cares? Oh, beast
Nobody.
people. Oh no. So,
So, yeah. Um,
have you watched any more Lord of Mysteries?
no, I didn't start that.
Okay. Then I'll keep what I'm saying brief.
Okay.
Episode 4. I'm following up to, so 8 episodes are out.
With the
Most of them I think are
Chinese.
like Chinese dub, or
Yeah.
some of them are Japanese language. I don't know if all 8 are. I've only watched up to episode 4 because that's the official. I'm actually watching the English dub, which is like
Mm-hmm.
the first dub I have deliberately watched in a decade. So I just prefer to engage with it that way. Um
Okay.
Episode 4. So let me just say that the episode 3 and 4 are great. um Lord of Mysteries gets a lot of exposition and world building off, and like they're very dense. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens in these episodes, a lot of like details in what people say to each other really do matter.
You have to
And
be paying
even in
attention.
the power system, like the beyonder powers, the details of a description of a thing really matter as well. So what we're introduced to in the second and third episode is that the way you become a beyonder is that you basically get a potion, and the potion starts you at kind of like the bottom level of one of 22 different specialties. So there's a lot
Okay.
of like ways that you can advance up. And at first you're sort of thought like, oh, well, you pick a specialty, you're kind of in that, and you kind of, so our main character is a seer, but there's also like other specialties, and they were like, oh well, maybe him picking that meant that he couldn't get off of it if he wanted to. By episode 3 we run into somebody who's an enemy, who at one point was a seer but was able to transition into something else, and they were at a higher level than he was.
Oh.
That third episode was did so much good work of like, number one, creating really cool action scenes. Number two, creating genuine threat to not just the main character, but also all the people, because basically it was like a group of like 4 or 5 people from the agency that he works with versus, um, I will say like a Hisoka like character. Um,
Mm, okay.
right, like, but it was like all of them versus that one, and that guy was at like, I think he was only he they said he was a level 7. He was so far above everybody else just by only being like one level above. Like the main character starts, everyone starts at a
Oh.
9, and I think there were like everyone else was like an 8 or something like that. And this
Yeah.
guy comes in, he was a 7, and he had them all in a chokehold. And the way they get out of it, I won't reveal it because you haven't watched it yet. But the way they get out of it was a clever use of the actual real special ability our main character has. That up to this point we were not, as an audience, clued into like what it actually does. Two, him faking the dude out like hardcore, like basically baiting him and winning a mind game against him in a clever way,
Oh.
but in a way that was like, it could have gone bad, it just happened to work out in his favor. And then in the end, him overcoming that, not quite by luck, but like I don't want to give too much away, but there's a point where he's our main character has a diviner's rod and a gun. He is not good at fighting and he is not good at shooting. Okay, that matters in that final confrontation because the his seer powers do allow him to become better at hitting things because he's
Hmm.
able to like predict in very small ways where someone is going to be, but he's like the weakest and seers are not fighters. Like it's not a specialty that
Oh,
like lends
okay.
itself to combat. We already meet like some of the ones who are, and they're so much like their abilities are so crazy, and they're not that much better than him, like as far as like the level of their beyonder power, but like they just chose a combat oriented one. So it's great because it means that the main character, number one, is to solve a lot of problems without, not necessarily without violence, but like without being overpowered. Like he's not winning
He
because
can't
he's
face roll
stronger than
shit.
everybody else. He's winning either by the skin of his teeth, a little bit of cleverness, being decisive when he needs to be decisive. Um, like it's really, really cool. So episode three is I think a great episode and gets a lot like of world building and action. Episode four is a monster in a box episode. And then, so there's I don't know if you ever like seen procedurals or like whether it's like police dramas
Yeah.
or murder dramas on TV or even like the supernatural stuff. A box episode is an episode where the writers take a lot of the or some number of the characters and stick them in a literal box. It could be like, oh, we're locked in underwater in a submarine,
Oh,
or we're someone's
kind of like an
trapped
escape
somewhere.
room dynamic kind of thing.
Right, but the as like, and I learned a little bit about this doing TV writing. The reason you do this is so you can save money because what it allows you to do is like
Mm.
you get like the set you've got to use if it's like live action, it's usually very simple, right? The You cut down the number of like characters that you're working with to like the bare minimum, and normally it's a way to like also focus the writing usually around like a character dynamic. Like say two people who don't like each other, you trap them in a location where they've got to work together. Maybe there's a ticking clock like a bomb or someone if they don't get out,
Yeah.
someone's going to die or some bad thing's going to happen. And then you use that to like hyper pressurize the situation to like bring out something in those characters. But the trick is that you're doing it cuz you spent a whole ton of money on another episode. And so now you need to like cut down on sets and
Yeah,
locations
yeah,
and
yeah,
all that
yeah.
other stuff. So in episode four, it's somewhat similar because we had all that action in episode three, and then four basically starts with Klein going to investigate a divination club because he found out that like in order to get to the next level of his seer abilities, it turns out that like you have to embody your ability on a on a regular basis. So like you have to kind of act out what that ability is supposed to be. So if his ability is seer
Oh,
and therefore his power is divination, doing things that require him to like be a in public among other people acting like a seer will make
yeah.
it easier for him to progress to the next level of power. So he joins the tarot
Okay.
a tarot club, which is basically where a bunch of people get together who all have some abilities, and either they offer services to people. They say, "Oh, I want to know if I'm gonna meet my future husband," or "Oh, I want to know if I'm gonna get rich or do whatever." And then you kind of use your power to give them an answer. So by doing that and participating in that, he makes it easier for him to get power. At the same time, in that group, there's a suspicion that the guy in charge of it is working against the they're trying to find the Antigonus notebook, this thing, this like power object that now they got in the last episode. So like, okay, this guy might be a bad guy, but we don't know. So by going to the club, he kind of does two things at once. He keeps an eye on the
Yeah.
person they're investigating, but also like he's leveling up his abilities. We are introduced to his little sister's friends who are all teenage girls who are like very into divining because the Ouija board stuff like tell me where my
Yeah.
boyfriend is gonna do whatever like all that
Yeah.
shit, and they wind up getting used by the guy who runs the tarot club to summon something to kill Klein, or
Oh,
to trap him and kill him. So basically the last half of the episode is him fighting a demon that gets summoned out of a magic mirror that's trapped all the girls and him in like a room, and he's got to use what he has learned so far about divination and also like the power system. And there's apparently there's sort of beings that are maybe close to gods, maybe not quite, but you can sort of invoke them. And and you have to be careful because the only ones you want to summon are the gods of order. But there are other beings that are unknown beings that are implied to
Oh.
be like chaotic and evil. That if you were to summon them, that is bad news. So he has to like figure out a way to summon a being to help him get out of the situation, but he has to do it really quickly because he's being basically he's like in a live fight with a demon in a tiny room that's also holding all his little sister and the other girls hostage, and one of them has been transformed to the two. So it's like really, and then all while it's happening, the guy who's in charge of the Tarot Club is like sending attacks through the mirror at him.
Oh.
So it's like it's a hyper chaotic situation, but the way the show breaks everything down, it's actually teaching you all of these other like facts about the power system and the world and the magic that they have and like how beyonders like engage with each other, how they engage with these higher powers. And then they also weave in the fact that like Klein has one ability that is definitely something no one else has, which is this gray mist. In the first episode, when he gets transported to that other world, I don't know if did you watch it? You haven't seen any
No, I
episodes,
haven't
right?
seen any of it yet.
In the
No.
first episode, he when he wakes up, obviously he's been transmigrated into the body of this person, so he's like from our world but he's in this world. And when he's looking around he realizes there's like a journal or like a diary, and it's like basically saying what he was doing up to the point that the person who originally owned his body probably died, like what was it, and they were
Yeah.
like trying to get off some spell or something, and he completes it and is transported to this other world of gray mist where to people who see him in that world, he appears like he's one of those deities that you're supposed to not come into contact with. He appears like that to other
Oh.
people, but it's just him sort of like taking the power of the gray mist, but he can't really use it well. So it's sort of like this weird thing where he's both existing as this all-powerful person, but then he's also not powerful at all and not doesn't know anything that's going on. And so those two things were separate up until episode 4 when all that exposition about like summoning deities and whatever else winds up playing a role in how he's able to defeat this high level demon that's been sent after him. And it's great. It's like mixing all the powers together. It's like everything you learned in like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 all comes together in episode 4 to get him out of that situation. And it doesn't feel like an ass pull. It doesn't feel like he's super overpowered either. It feels like he had to think his way through the problem, get through by the skin of his teeth. Very satisfying the way he takes out the main bad guy, gives us a whole ton of information about like what's going on, introduces this Aurora Society or Aurora Order, who are like right now the bad guys who are trying to get the book back. Like it's all this
Okay.
stuff. It's like a lot
Yeah.
that for
And it's
like
not
I was watching it,
overwhelming?
I'm like, this does not feel like I'm 4 episodes deep. This feels like I'm like 8 episodes into the series because
Oh.
of all the development and information and the characters and everything else. So like I put Lord of Mysteries right now like between like Water Magician, Clevatess, Kaiju 8 and Lord of Mysteries. I probably am like refreshing Lord of Mysteries the most to be like, is there a dub episode out? Is there a dub episode out? I'm trying to watch this shit. Like I don't even want to watch the subtitle ones because I feel like I might actually pay less attention because I'm going to want to watch what's happening on screen
Yeah.
less so than read what's being said. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I'm
Okay.
I'm loving it. I'm having a great time with the series. Like I recommend it. I recommend it basically to anyone who likes animated series, period. Like it's not an anime thing. Like this is good
It's
TV.
good.
It's just good TV. Like if they make
Okay.
a this would this series is so ripe to be like adapted for live
A live
action,
action.
like for US audiences. Like it is so ripe for it. Oh man, if it could get like an Amazon series deal,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
this would be good because it's like steampunk. You got magic. It doesn't even like the action is cool. but you could scale it back and make it work, you know, for human actors. Like I don't know. I hate doing the whole like, well, you know, Harry Potter for grown-ups. But like honestly, it would probably scratch a lot of the same itches that
And
um
something needs to usurp that spot, anyways.
yeah,
So
but it's not inspired by that. I guess what I'm saying is when I say like Harry Potter for grown-ups, I just mean like a magical steampunk um, you know, series that is not copying notes from Harry Potter. Let's be very clear, it's not.
okay,
But the same audience would probably be interested in it, and the Chinese-ness of the sort of the storytelling is not as apparent, and that means it fits a Western model of storytelling a little bit better than like even like some anime. Like I think just part of the reason why they don't work in live action is not because the ideas are bad. It's just the model of storytelling does not work for, you know, Western structure. You have
yeah,
to change something to make it work, and when you change that, you lose what made it, you know, parts of what made it like, you know, fun in the first place. So big fan of what they're doing
okay,
uh for Lord of Mysteries. Big fan.
okay.
Anything else you caught? What else are you caught up on?
Gachiakuta,
Oh,
which
bet. Yeah.
that was a cool episode. The introduction of humanoid enemies.
We got some
I
bad guys.
I mean, on the main one, even though we've still only gotten glimpses of him, he looks so fucking cool with those like with the dreads, and then like
Yeah.
the seeing the weapon, like the finger claws. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Because he was like, can like let me go? He's like, yeah, I'll let you go, and just like slices his fucking entire face open. I'm just like, oh wow. But all in all, I think I was more in this episode for the shonen part and the introduction of like giver versus giver outside
Yep.
of like homeboy fighting the other cleaners. Um and it got, oh my god. Fuck, what is the show? What is the show where like they're in duos, not Naruto. Like not like Akatsuki, but there's like a I'll remember it later. But there's like where people are paired up with other people based off of their powers complementing each other. I know
Mm.
that's in some other fucking anime. I just cannot remember which one it is right now. It's in another shonen. But I was like, oh, this is how they're moving. So now we've been introduced to, you know, like just regular ground society. We've been introduced to the cleaners, and now we're getting introduced to factions. And everybody ain't good. Everybody's like ain't squeaking like these niggas are evil for some odd reason or other. We don't know why, but they're here to fight. And the fact that the main character was barely in the episode or barely in the fight, like at all. Like he
Yeah.
ran, and he ran. That was it. Like this episode
Yep.
was all about the staff dude. So enjoyed that. And then I jump scared like a motherfucker at the end after homeboy washed them niggas.
And then
And
he's
then
standing behind him.
he's standing there right behind him. And I said, oh shit. Episode in. I was like, that honestly, you got me right there. Cause now I gotta get to next week. I gotta get to next week. Like, cause that was a really good transition. But yeah, I am enjoying it. Like his conversation with like the supporter guy, it's kind of giving me death flags. I'm really getting worried. I'm so afraid. It's either he or the younger supporter. I'm like, bitch,
They're giving him a little bit too much
it's too
backstory.
much. It's
A
too
little bit
much.
like, oh, I bought a
And
thing to
Joe said it.
pray, and
Joe said it when he was here. He was like death is growth, and I'm just like, oh shit,
putting those
like
death flags all over him.
all over the both of them. And I'm just like, I'm not necessarily believing it's gonna be like the grappler guy. It's probably gonna be the younger kid. And I'm just like, I know it's coming, but I'm not gonna be ready for it when it happens. Like, all right, bitch, like whatever. But yeah, the villain dude, get menacing, but in a cool way. Menacing, but in a cool way. And so I like that. I like that. I'm almost positive he's not gonna be a complex villain. He's probably just gonna be a
Mhm.
crazy bitch. He's just fucking crazy. He's just crazy, and he lives amongst the rest of them, and they have to deal with it. Um, but I do like the introduction of the other givers and the fact that they didn't even break down the majority. Like homeboy was like figuring it out during the fight. There was no exposition of her being like, my giver power does this, and yeah. It was like we're fighting.
He
Like
had to
that's
figure
it.
it out.
He had to
Um,
figure it out.
as a manga reader, This was my litmus test before like they had done all. I think they released like the teaser trailer, but like this scene, fight,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. This was in my head what my litmus test was going to be to see how well the adaptation was going to come off, because it's underground, it's dark. There's a very
Mm-hmm.
particular manga panel which actually they did a great job adapting. It's when Zonka does the vibration sensing kind of at the end of that
Mm-hmm.
fight where like it goes in the anime, they basically made it was like a 3D and 2D, right?
Yeah.
But they stylized in a way that looked great. It looked like fantastic. But there's a manga panel that is shot for shot identical to what they did with that
Oh.
3D thing. So there I believe there was like a very short clip from that that was in the trailer, and when I saw that, I'm like, they got it. They know what to do here. Because in the manga panel, it's also drawn in a way that kind of, I don't know if the right way to like to describe it, but like it looks 3D. If that's like a way to say it, like
Yeah.
it's very much I'm just because we happen to be live. I know we're not going to maybe put it on screen, but like it's a manga panel that I sent you, and like that when you see that
Okay.
and you put it
I'll
next to
download that.
the, it's in the chat for the
I'll post it up here, y'all.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you see,
Okay.
yeah, but when you see it and you see what they did in the anime, it's like this is perfect. This is exactly how you translate this idea, basically shot for shot in motion. Because in the anime, the camera's like zooming towards where the girl is standing, and so
Yeah.
like you really get a feel for like how cool Zonka's powers actually are. And it's not like he did anything that was like crazy afterwards. Basically, like they just mobbed him. He's like, "Oh, I see you, nigga,
Echolocation.
right there," and just gets him,
Yeah.
and then takes her out to do like it's easy. But up to that point, he had to figure out the ability. Once he figured out the ability, it was just like he's strong. He's a strong character, and they're scaling this, so like he's gonna take care of business. But they gave you good like 3 to 5 minutes of good action and let the character looks. Remember, show don't tell. He's supposed to be a pretty capable, smart guy, and he showed
Yeah.
through the how he handled that fight exactly that. So, no, I'm just enjoying it. I mean, we also got to talk about how it's bad bitch o'clock outside with Semiyu now. Like all the black cosplay girlies are like, oh, we got a new one. We got it.
She looks so cool. Like even in the beginning of the episode, just the walk up, the sit down, the expectation of the phone, and then picking it up, and then going to like
You
the
don't. It
like
don't take
name
much. Do
card.
it. It does not take much.
And then even her like banter with like, oh yeah, he's going along, da, 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 and I was just like, bruh, she's so cool. Like that's just that is one of the best black character designs in anime in a minute.
Yeah.
Like in a minute. Like she looks so cool. So yeah, the girlies are gonna be at the cons killing it. Cause honestly, her
Yep.
outfit isn't even that fucking crazy. If anything,
No.
it's the glasses, like the glasses and like that part. But that outfit, they can put that shit together over a weekend. They can find it. I'm pretty sure they're probably already ordering shit on Amazon. Like, look at
Yep.
okay, what's it called? Like you get something that's like tight, you can cut it out, or you can do like um you can do gloves and then you cut the gloves like right there. And then
Right.
that fitted like the midsection. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna like get some skims or some shit and then like do the alterations themselves. They're gonna add the zipper. Like I can see, and those pants are like
It's
everywhere.
super fashionable. Like
Yes.
it's a cool like she has a cool design. The aesthetic is cool. The white
Ooh, and the
hair
white
and the white lip,
lipstick.
like
Yeah.
like it's just
It's
it's
gonna be
got
recognizable.
it's coming with
If
the Naomi Campbell. It's coming with the you know what I mean. Like this is a fantastic design. Like I just want to point that out again. This is a fantastic design. Um,
and they hit look
top to
at the
bottom.
fucking shoes. They can find
Yeah,
them shoes anywhere. Like they're gonna be out here. They're gonna be out here.
yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
And that's like a benefit, I think. Again, Gachiakuta artistically has a lot of like great design elements.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even if the story was whatever, like just from a aesthetic point of view, there's so much in at least in the manga, now in the anime. That's just like strong design, very, very strong. You can tell sometimes when like an artist and a creator locks in on, you know, a design aesthetic that just works. Like for whatever people want to say about My Hero Academia, the reason why it is so popular is because of strong design, like
Yeah.
all over the place, like so strong. Like it doesn't, it looks like itself. It doesn't look like something else. Gachiakuta, strong design. Every character, even like, you know, like filler characters, you could say, oh, that's a Gachiakuta character because of that, the
Mm.
design elements. And I think that's something that was definitely picked up from the manga's work with Okubo, because you could say that about almost all of his work as well. Like the defining feature of like Okubo's designs, Fire Force, or why am I forgetting the other one before Fire Force?
Oh, Soul Eater.
Soul Eater. Incredibly, they're simple. A lot of the designs, like most of the character designs have like one or two very like dominant features. It could be like a hair, something with the hair,
Yeah,
or
like Death the Kid. Like
yeah.
just so yeah.
But like every like when you look at it, you're like Oku, you see an Okubo character, you're like, I see it. That's incredibly strong design principles are forward in the character, and I can ID them. Gachiakuta has that in its DNA. That everything you see like feels like it belongs here, and that it's an artist making a statement. So I know we're getting away from like talking about the actual episode because it was mostly, I
I
mean, like the first
mean,
half was like walking to a place, and the last half was like
yeah.
fighting underground. So it's like not a lot that really happened, like many things happening. But we got, now it's 2 episodes of semi clips to get people all excited to do something. I expect like Comic Cons to, you know, be full of her. I
To
hope.
blow up. I mean, I if
Yeah.
I see someone at Anime NYC, I'm gonna be like, may I please take a picture? Because like
Yeah.
fuck yes. Um I watched Mangora. Still just this was more so of like a planning episode. They got
Yep.
the materials, we got specific upgrades. They went into the political situation or just like the situation of the adjacent like city state country thing. And oh, and the twins like are like a part of the show now.
Yep.
Um and I honestly, you know, I thought that was a pretty decent introduction for them. Um, where where they were like, yeah, they've been through a lot, blah blah, and the way that they were acting, and they basically were just like, no, we don't want to be alive. Like we don't think we should be living. And that's why we acted the way that we did. We were being clumsy, da 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 da. But it's also
Yep.
like, well, they haven't processed it, but also they've been through some traumatic shit. Like when they were like, yeah, our mom sacrificed herself so that so that everyone can eat. I was like, what the fuck?
Kind of. So, yeah, I was the same way. I was like, damn.
I was
Sometimes
like,
in the series, like there'll be stuff that they'll say happened, like they won't necessarily show it, but like when they describe what happened, like this is fucked up. Like
yeah.
everything about this happening is terrible.
And my thoughts were like the way that the elder was talking about the mom. I was like, it sounded like that she was a high contributing person
Right.
in the tribe. So why the fuck did she get it? Like it seems as though like she was important. Why the fuck did y'all eat her? But clearly it's another thing. And also it did give me a glimpse into like the elder. And I did like that the warrior guy went over or like behind his back or whatever, because the elder is very clearly trying to like stick to the traditional values that like he's disseminated amongst their group. And the
Yeah.
warrior guy is like, no, like we need to be doing other stuff. Like we need to be offering other ways and options. And they're letting them like battle it out, but there is no, or as of yet, there's no internal conflict that's causing a problem for the nation. Where it's like, oh,
Right.
there are factions within the nation now that are vying for power and control, or like the favor of the king and things like that. I could see that possibly in the future, but we're nowhere near that right now.
No.
But yeah, it also was kind of crazy because like we saw like the beast people at the end of the last episode, and they were nowhere to be found this time. I was like, damn, I thought we were gonna like get into it.
Yeah,
But
the end of the last episode implied that like, oh, we're gonna shift focus, but I'll show him some bail, which is like in a previous episode, whenever they cut to like the stuff happening in the Holy Kingdom, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
usually
always
like
follow up.
right. Like
Yeah,
the closest we
yeah,
got was like the expedition thing, but like that was literally a different group of people headed back. We didn't like we get like one scene of like
yeah,
what's happening in the north, and that's kind of it at a time. So like I'll show him a little bit of bail on that one.
yeah.
On
But
the bail.
otherwise, yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I've let a few episodes of S rank adoption, whatever the fuck it's called, S rank party, da da da.
Hmm.
I'm letting episodes of that build up. Um, and then yeah, I'm off for the next 2 weeks, so I get to catch up on fucking everything. Like
Awesome.
so much. I've been like dodging strays from what's gonna call it, fucking Seventh Prince.
Spoilers.
I'm just like
Yeah.
I don't want to see the fights. I know the fights are cool. I know they're fucking cool. I don't want to see the fucking fights. I want to experience the fights and the comedy. And I want to experience it myself. Them bitches are gonna have titties overflowing and panties showing the whole time. I know that. I'm here for the action. Okay, I'm here for the action. Um, and yeah, I think that's what I
They've been playing with
mean.
me. They pump fake me on one thing that I was like, don't you fucking do this. Don't do this. And they pump fake me. So I was like, all right, okay. It's fine.
Oh,
The
and with
pump
my new policy, I can catch up on Don to Don now. So it's just like
Oh,
I
great.
can be ready for that next week. Like, ugh. And ironically, I haven't been spoiled on Don to Don, which is like crazy in my mind. Because it's everybody loves it. Well, not everybody loves it, but yeah, like
Right.
Don to Don, dress up, Don, all that kind of stuff. Like, I have the time.
I feel you. Yeah, the other as you mentioned before, like Seventh Prince, it's given what it usually gives. They found a
Mm-hmm.
way to like continuously add like more characters. But you know, you're there, you watch the show for Lloyd fucking around.
Stunting. Like, yeah.
It's like kind of why you watch it. I like that in this season though, they've given him more stuff to get mad about. Like in the if you remember in like
Oh,
season 1, pretty much the only thing that got like personal was like the stuff at the end with the other ability users and like the
yeah.
demons inhabiting the guy's body and like that cuz up to that point like he ran to someone really powerful. The thing that drove the fight was Lloyd's curiosity. He wasn't necessarily like personally invested in the outcome of something. It was just
Yeah.
more like, oh shit, you're strong. Oh, let me see what kind of magic you do. Oh, that magic's kind of
I
crazy, and
want
he was just
that.
continually doing more and more feats to like chase that up. But by the end of the first season, we got like a character he didn't like. And in addition to being like pushed a little bit on the teleportation magic stuff, it was like it kind of had a reason to put that nigga in the dirt, right? Season 2, they are doing a better job of introducing more definitive antagonists, not just like people who have strong abilities who are also evil.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they get dealt with, it's sort of like it's a good general good that it happened, but it's not motivated by like a clash of ideas or ideology. Now we've got like some villains. There's some subplot on top of that that seems interesting because it's like holy magic has been given to somebody who is definitely not holy. So we gotta figure out what
Oh.
the fuck is going on here. So I'm very pleased with how things are going. And the only thing I'll say is that like most of the side cast doesn't have a ton to do organically, so then they just kind of create stuff for them to do because like Lloyd wants to fuck around. And so that is fine. I think it could be better, but I don't care because this is like Seventh Prince kind of gets more into the bowl of chicken wing side of like
Yeah.
anime enjoyment. Like there's not like a ton of depth. So if you're diving into it, you're diving into it for a very specific experience. So it needs to deliver on that experience. Otherwise, I won't be happy. And it's doing that. It's giving exactly what I need it to give. and a little bit more. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. So that, still enjoying it week to week. But it's like
Yeah.
certainly of like the top 5 shows that I am watching weekly, it's like at the bottom of those 5. That does not make it bad. It's just not doing as
Well,
much as
there's
some
also a
we
lot.
talked about.
There's a lot this season,
Right.
so it's still at least it's in the top something. Um, but yeah, that's all I have for this week.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
And then I said I knew what my recommendation was earlier, but I'm gonna recommend something else.
Okay.
What's I actually have been getting my ass beat in Romancing Saga 2, The Return of the Seven.
Ooh, I
Um,
want to play that.
yeah, so I downloaded the demo. I started it on the hard, like the hardest mode that you could do. Um, and I just can't put the fucking game down. Like I once you get into like once the inheritance system like kicks off and stuff like that. But even beyond that, um the boss battles are not face roll battles. Like the boss battles are like, oh, I have to actually approach this in a specific way. Like if you try to, you cannot over level in the game because the monsters are going to scale to your level. So when you hit those bosses, like if you don't have specific equipment, because you're kind of like locked in, like the beginning part of the game is a little bit slow, but
Mm-hmm.
you die so much in this game on the hard mode, Like my characters be fucking dropping like fucking flies. And if your characters drop a certain amount of times, if they get killed a certain amount of times, then they get the Fire Emblem treatment where they can't come back. So, but different part from Fire Emblem is like, they die once, they're gone. This one, they have like life points or whatever, da da da. So like going into dungeons and then getting in a dungeon and being like, damn, these niggas are strong, niggas are dropping. But can I still beat this dungeon before someone dies permanently? And then you do it, and then you literally go back to the castle and you recruit a brand new person that like you have to remake your party around, or you have to like fit them into
Mm-hmm.
your party maker. I'm just like, it's constantly making you choose and evolve, and then like the skill system, the glimmer stuff. And I'm just like, wow, like I know it's a remake, it's a 3D remake, but I had my eye on the game when it came out last year, but I was like, wow, this shit is actually lit. And I got it on Switch too. So I'm just like playing it at the bar and I'm just like, bro, like what the fuck? Like this is just so the music is great. And it's like it's constantly like unlocking the difficulty level is going higher, 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 higher. It's one of the first games where I'm like, fuck, I actually like I need not the first, but it's the one of the first games in a long time where I'm like, okay, I actually have to think about like how am I going into this boss battle. It's got to the point now where I'm not dying at every boss. But when I was going against bosses and they were killing me, it took me like 2 or 3 tries where I was like, let me come back with this party makeup and try this, or let me try this. What did I? And the game will tell you like, oh, drop the difficulty. And I'm like, no, bitch, I want to beat them on the hard
don't
mode.
don't talk
Like,
to me like that.
yeah, like you shut up. Like I'm beating them on this mode, and it's rewarding and it's fun and it's good. Like honestly, it's well and it's on sale on like the Switch 2 right now. So I was like, let me pick this shit up. Like it'd be cute, and it's been great. It's been great. And Chained Echoes DLC dropped, and so that is gonna be something
Uh, yeah.
I'll be interested in doing. But I didn't know that. I think there's like a glitch or something because I know I beat the game, but it's not loading my save file as like it's saying I didn't beat the game, but now it's been so long since I played the game that now I'm like I might as well play it all the way through again because I've forgotten the lore and there's like a shit ton of lore in the DLC, and I really did enjoy that about the game. So, but they kind of did a stealth drop on it. Like I saw next to like no advertisement.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, that's out. It's $10. So support a small developer.
Understood. I think for me, I my recommendation is also like a lukewarm take, which is Donkey Kong Bonanza is game of the year.
Bruh,
It's
I've been
game of the
looking at
year.
it.
It's not. I know. All y'all Expedition 33 folks are like still in the afterglow, and there's people out there who are
Yeah.
you think Death Stranding and all the weird stuff they're doing over there, like the dark
Mm-hmm.
Doom, dark. No, it's Donkey Kong Country, Bonanza.
Are
That is
you?
a rare, out of nowhere 10 out of 10, and
I have been
because
looking at that game every day, and I'm like, nigga, do you really need this? Because like you're not a big plat, but everyone is saying they love it.
It's just excellent. Like it does everything right. If you remember those old like rare games, the Banjo Kazooies, the Donkey Kong 64s, the
Yeah.
Super Mario 64, like the things that made those games so great was that yes, some technical skill would was required to really do well at the game. But
Mm-hmm.
to me, when I play a video game and I look at something and I think I should be able to do whatever. Like I see
Yeah.
something in the distance, I should be able to traverse to get there. I see a location or a thing out of reach or there's a challenge. Like what I see should tell me or give me clues about how I'm supposed to do it. Donkey Kong is like that design idea just on steroids because you go through the whole game and literally everything you do feels perfectly natural. Your progression is not, there's so many different ways to progress. There's so many collectibles. There's so many ways in which you're interacting with the environment, the way the environment interacts with enemies, the way that plays into
Mm.
puzzles, the way that leads you to other secrets that unlock more things for you to do and get the customization, like which is I don't think I've really ever done that before in like a Nintendo game where like you can customize your Donkey Kong to look like whatever you want him to look like. There's all like secret things that you can get. There's abilities that let you go, not just unlock new areas to go to, but unlock new ways to interact with the game, which, by the way, you don't even need to beat the game. It just gives you more options about what you want to
Oh,
do. But it's not too
okay.
much. It's not overwhelming. If I handed the controller to, my 7-year-old cousin, they would have a blast. If I handed it to, someone my age or older who remembers some of those older games, they would have a blast. It's the controls are snappy, the graphics are colorful, the act like the representation of like Donkey Kong and all the bad guys you gotta take on are all like interesting and fun. It's just like this is a video game. I don't know if it's going to win Game of the Year for the next cycle. I have no idea what's going to come out.
Yeah.
I know what people feel because Expedition 33, from a narrative perspective and just as an accomplishment, is like was everyone's like kind of like shoe in for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Donkey Kong doesn't win, I'm like, y'all niggas don't play video games. Y'all just play the
Oh,
video games you want to play, but you don't play video games.
yeah.
Because
Speaking
this was a victory for video games over here.
speaking of, did you see that they bumped up the Monster Hunter patch to this
Yes,
week?
I did.
I said, "Oh shit!" I was
Yes,
like,
I did.
"I,
Listen, if you
it's
ain't
time for a
if you
return.
if y'all been
It's
sleeping on
time.
Monster Hunter, it's time to get back in. Well, I
It's
guess
time to
in the
clock
next like
in. It's
yeah,
is it what?
it's,
What is it? The 13th or the
yeah,
14th?
it's still like next week. Or sorry, it's this week, but in the
Yeah."
next week, yes, this is when to jump back in.
I was shocked when I saw that shit. They said you bitches are review bombing us everywhere. We got to turn this around. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I
wow.
don't know about like the performance stuff like that. That wasn't necessarily like my
Oh
problem
yeah,
because
I
I was
didn't.
a console player on PS5.
Yeah,
So like, I missed all that, but like, it's been fine to me.
I
So
mean, listen,
let's get it.
it's gonna be a
But yeah,
hot
that's it.
PlayStation 5 for a while. All right. Well, follow us TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and on Blue Sky Anime Savants. And where can they find you, James?
On Blue Sky, James R. Morris King. You can find me out there in these streets. I actually like Blue Sky is so good just for like browsing. Like it's funny because like I'm so unused to being on a social media platform that's not like inherently designed to get me angry and rapidly typing responses. I could just like
Oh,
read stuff and I'm like, oh, there's a conversation, and then I'm gone and I don't feel
yeah.
nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
it's so interesting that you say that because I've only been logging back into Twitter just to like post the links for our shit. And of course, I will just browse a little bit. And within 2 minutes, every single time, I'm just like, I gotta go. I
Instant
gotta
rage
fucking
bait.
go.
It's
It's
like Twitter
nonstop.
is literally just like
Anything to
solid
get you
rage
to
bait.
engage with my post and make me money. Anything.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, this isn't even fun. Like, are you niggas having fun anymore? Like, even the fandoms, like the anime. You know what? I will say that the anime stuff, like niggas posting cool clips of like old shows or like I did see that like Anime News Network interview. I saw that on Twitter. Like someone was talking about that and they were like, this is cool. And I was like, yeah, if this was what it was, majority, then yeah, like I would still be there. But it's not. It's just not. And it's unfortunate, but that's how stuff happens. That's how the internet age goes. There's stuff that's like popping, and there's not. Like I'm even
Yeah.
thinking about getting rid of my fucking iPhone and getting one of them Samsung flips, like fold to flip. Them shits look nice.
Now
Um.
I have a 2-year-old model. I'm a big
Oh
fan.
shit! You got.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, they're great. They're great.
Ah.
They're great.
And this has been
Like,
paid off for like over 2 years now. So I'm just
yeah,
like,
if you can get a little
uh,
discount because it is on the expensive side. Like definitely.
okay,
Like, well, I mean,
okay.
because but all new phones are like expensive now. But I'm just
Well, they're
saying, like,
almost like laptop
I
prices
have
now.
very much enjoyed. Um, I think again, this is are we on the 7 now? Is that where
Yeah,
we
the
are?
Flip 7
So this
just
is a
came out.
5,
Okay.
and it runs great. It's treated me very well. Um, I waited until the 5th generation because I figured like at that point if there are any issues with like the hinges or anything else or the screens, they would have
Yeah.
worked it out. I
And
can
there's no crease
confidently
on your
report
screen.
no problem whatsoever. And I've had it, more like a year and a half, and it's
Nice.
been
Oh,
perfectly fine. So get in the pool. They're great. The other thing you realize that when you have all that screen real estate, you start using it a lot like a true second screen for a lot of stuff. Like,
mm,
because when you have your phone and you used to watch stuff on a phone, it's fine. But this is like somewhere between a phone and a tablet, and
yeah.
it actually works great for both. And if you don't put a case on it, it's very slim. I have a half a case on it, just like a rubberized part, and then like the base
Mm,
guard. And I think that like that combo is not too bulky, but it still like serves both purposes like very, very well.
okay.
So I'm a fan. I'm with it. I think if you can get that and it's within your budget, go for it.
So
Go
many
for it.
signs, so many signs. All right. All right, we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Peace out.